So, I'm a simple man. I wake up in the morning, I have my coffee, I go on my phone. I usually pull up Brawl Stars. It's a fun little distraction. But ever since they added this whole quest thing, it's never been a problem till now. I look at my quests, and I have one for Piper, and I have one for Mortis. Not terrible quests by any means. So I go to check the map rotation lists, because in case you didn't know, there's different maps and different game modes and what's not for the game. And so I look, and there's not a single good map for Piper. Because Piper, being a literal long range, bad at close range sniper character, why would I bring her on bushy, close range maps where I'm most likely just going to get schooled? And so I'm a little upset. Because on the one hand, I want to complete my quests. On the other hand, I don't want to just sit there and slam my head against the wall and lose over and over again until I luckily get my quest done. So you could just think, well, why not wait till tomorrow when there's better maps in rotation? Well, I had a time limit for the Piper quest, and I wasn't very happy. So I trucked through it. I was a very bad teammate in Brawl Ball, but I got it done. Whatever. Then I had a quest for Mortis. Mortis is an interesting brawler. I had to win 6 games with him. It is not easy to win as Mortis, especially with me, who solely depends on randoms. So I can either play gem grab, maybe get lucky, except it's a very bushy map, and I'm most likely going to run into shotgun brawlers and brawlers that directly counter me, or I can slam my head against a wall during showdown and save other people the expense, yet have a lower chance of winning. I ended up picking showdown, which, if you know me, I absolutely hate playing showdown because it's the worst thing ever, in my opinion at least. So this got me to thinking, what the heck? Why am I forced to play brawlers I don't want to play on game maps I don't want to play in game modes I don't want to play? This never used to be a problem. Before the whole Battle Pass thing, you could just play. Any game mode, anytime, although you were encouraged to play each game mode once a day. Fine, whatever. Except I'm expected to deal 180,000 points of damage. I'm trying to complete my Mortis quest while at the same time trying to complete my Showdown quest. Okay, the problem with quests is that there's very little diversity, okay? It's either do X amount of damage in this game mode, get X amount of kills with this brawler. When they showed the quest in Brawl Talk, they showed the same, maybe 4 quests, and I was thinking, oh, well, that's just a developer build. I'm sure they'll be more diverse and more interesting than just, oh, heal, oh, take damage, oh, deal damage. But no, that's it. Here we are, pretty much the season over at the halfway over at this point, and it's the same quest over and over again. Except I'm forced to play brawlers I don't want to play. Which you could say, well, isn't that the point? And then I say, well, I don't play these brawlers are 200 trophies less than my other brawlers for a good reason, because I'm not good at them and I don't want to play them, and they're very situational. So I'm gonna segue from my spiel about quests. I'm gonna talk about overall balance of brawlers and stuff. The whole Mortis quest got me thinking of why Mortis isn't good. All right, so Mortis is the the game has moved away from Mortis. Okay, I know back in the beta, when he was first introduced, he was overpowered, but since then he has just been squabbling at the bottom of the barrel. Everything that was good about him has been smushed down, neutered, replaced, He's just not fun. He does 1,260 damage per swing, okay? About 30 of the 36 brawlers in this game can survive all three of his attacks at once, which, if you're being a close range assassin brawler, that's not good. That's not good. I don't see how you can think that's good. He Remember Lone Star? Remember when that was a mode? He was good in there because he could just steal people's kills. That was the only thing he was good at. That's not a thing anymore. So why are we still letting Mortis be at the very bottom of the totem pole? The game almost tricks you into playing Mortis. Not only because of the quest, it's like, oh, hey, play Mortis. He's on all the promotional art. Each little brawler, there's a little title, a little description of what they do. And Mortis is a very unique title that no one else has called Dashing Assassin. That's a lie. Because Mortis does so little damage, he should not be considered an assassin. He's more of a dashing pansy. Because the only thing he's good at is running away. That's his only strong suit is his speed. He's the fastest brawler, but that doesn't do him much. He can't do much in most game modes if he can't do damage. Brawl Stars boils down to, at the very end, who can get the most kills. You have all these extra game modes and extra doodads, whatever, but everything boils down to who can get the most kills. Immortus can't do that. He's a crutch to your team more than anything. He has one useless star power. There's no reason to use Creepy Harvest over Coiled Snake. You're giving up pure mobility for the chance that you might get an extra heal after killing somebody. Well, to be honest, you're not going to be killing a whole lot of people to begin with, and you're not going to be able to get onto your enemies if you're not using Coiled Snake. That's simple as that. Coiled Snake isn't even good. It takes forever to reload your shots because you have to have all three shots reloaded to begin with, and the wind-up bar is so slow too. So if you're waiting for your charge bar to wind up, you're essentially not dashing, you're not doing damage, you're not running away, you're not doing what Mortis is good at. You're just a sitting duck until you can get a slightly longer dash range. Another thing that's bad about Mortis is that essentially when you press that play button, you're gambling. That's it. It's when you play Mortis, you get a rock, paper, scissors at the beginning of each match to see if you have a good enough, if you're going to have a good time and a good matchup. If you go against a team and they got two throwers, well, that's good. You can harass the throwers all match and let your team do the rest. But you hit that play button and your enemy team is a Rosa, a Bull, and a Shelly, as Mortis, you're not going to do anything. You physically cannot kill either one of them. They're all going to outmatch you. They all outmatch you by a ton. Not to mention, Mortis is extremely unfriendly to free-to-play players. Not only do you need his gadget to even stand a chance in the meta, but you also need his or one of his two star powers to even be usable. My free-to-play buddies, people who are starting at the game, they don't want Mortis because they know not only is there so many other good mythics, but if they get Mortis, it's going to tank their legendary chance. And so you have people who don't want Mortis. They see the little brawler spinning thing and they just hope to God it's not Mortis. Because they know if they get Mortis, they're just going to have a useless brawler that sits there that they can't use until level 7 at the very least. Let me put this into some visuals real quick. So let's say you're Mortis, right? And you're just wandering around doing your thing, and you see a crow, and you're thinking, "Wow, that crow looks pretty tasty. I think I'm gonna run onto him and kill him, right? Because he has less than 4,000 HP, and you should be able to three-shot him, right?" Well, it turns out Crow used his shield gadget, completely nullified your attacks, and killed you. You're dead. How about that Sprout over there? Sprout's a thrower. You should be good against throwers, right? Well, you went onto him. You didn't kill him in 3 shots. He used his gadget to heal, and his teammate came over and killed you. You're dead. All right, what about that Brock? You should be able to three-shot that Brock, right? He's alone. He looks pretty tasty. You go in, he activates his gadget, and he jumps over the fence and leaves you vulnerable. You die. Summary: Mortis needs a buff bad. I hear pros all the time say that Mortis is usable. He has his niche, but as a person who just wants to play to have fun, Mortis is not fun. Next up on my chopping block, I got Gale. Say it with me, kids. Gale is bad. The only good thing he has going for him is his jump pad, which, if you're following along with the competitive scene, it's kind of broken. But that's the only thing he's good at. It's literally the only thing he's good at. You put down your jump pad, your two buddies come with you, jump along with you, and then that's just it. And you don't do anything for the rest of the match because you're useless. So, we gotta fix the jump pad. And I actually have an idea this time. So, my idea, make it usable only 2 times per match. And you gotta make it so the pads only last a certain amount of time, or give them a health bar and make them destructible. You should probably add something like you're not allowed to use them for the first 15 seconds of the match or so, since that's the main reason people use the jump pad in the beginning to get a head start. So I think the main thing with Gale is that you gotta fix his main attack. Because how it works now is you shoot, I want to say 5 or 6 big, like a big vertical rectangle snowballs, and you can only consistently hit a brawler 2 out of the 6 snowballs, which do about 1,000 damage. Which, if you look on paper, his potential damage is a lot more than the damage he actually does in practice. Because I have never, in my hours of playing Gale, ever had a time when I've hit all 6 of my snowballs. I just don't feel like it's possible. Which probably isn't supposed to be possible, but even like on stationary targets, you can't. It's physically impossible. So why not make it so that the attack goes in a cone, like literally every other multi-projectile range attacker in the game? Every other brawler gets this treatment, why not Gale? Well, you could say, well, that makes him unique. Well, it makes him suck, alright? So make it a cone, make it so it's kind of like Shelly where it does a bunch of damage up close, but then a little less at range. So he can actually fend for himself and you're not just praying to the RNG gods and you get that third snowball hit. I think you're okay with leaving his super and star power as is because they're fine on their own. They just don't help when his attack is so lackluster. Now with these next ones, I'm just gonna spitball, throw them out. I don't have as much to talk about with them. Sprout, yeah, yeah. So I think the main problem with Sprout is that, well, two problems actually, is that his super charges way too fast and his attacks are way too hard to dodge. I'd say completely remove the whole bouncing thing. Make it a fixed thing. Make it so it lands the exact same way every single time. None of the whole bouncing thing that it does now. Also, just make it so his super doesn't charge as fast, and I think you're fine. Tick. Tick is one of the least fun brawlers to play, but he is good. Damn, is he good. In my opinion, Tick needs an entire rework. Just gut him, build him back from the ground up. The way he works now is so unfun to go against. So you got this guy who's sitting in the back of the map throwing shots at you that you can't do anything about. Hard to dodge shots that do way more damage than they probably should. So you want to know how I would fix him? I was thinking make his range a lot shorter, but make his damage a lot more. So he's more of a glass cannon rather than just an annoying pussy thrower. You know what I mean? I don't know if you've ever watched pros play Bounty, but if you don't have a tick on your team, you basically just lose. Because that's how good he is. And I just think you need to completely scrap him and redo everything. Because the way he is now, he's not fun. but he's annoyingly good, if that makes sense. Rosa. I've never liked Rosa, even ever since she was released. Flashback to the Rose Apocalypse. I find myself a lot of time tilting and getting frustrated, but then I'll switch to Rosa and I'll just suddenly win, like magic. Especially now, especially now since Rosa has her gadget, which combined with her healing star power serves as an instant healing station. Rosa has it all. Big health, big damage, fast movement speed, a crazy good shield, and a constant healing from her star power. Some of that needs to go away. Because as is now, let's say you're Rosa and you got a little crow in the other team and he's just throwing shots at you. Right now, you can just stand there and eat it as Rosa. Because your healing will out heal his toxic damage that he's throwing at you. That's that's how good her healing is. I feel like that shouldn't be a thing. Shelly. I see a lot of people say how Shelly needs a buff, and I couldn't disagree with them more. I think Shelly is perfectly fine, and I personally don't want a meta where Shelly is the norm again. Let her stay in a low tier. The scariest thing is going against a Shelly with her super, since you basically just die. And you can't do anything about it. You just die. I'm sure you've been in that situation, a showdown of Brawl Ball, where a Shelly supered you in the face and you somehow survived, and you just think, wow, I might be able to kill this Shelly after all. But then she gets her super again, and then she supers you again, and you just die. I seriously don't think she should be able to charge her super that fast. I also don't think she should be able to chip you down from a long range as a shotgun brawler. She has the same range as a lot of sharpshooters, really. It's absurd. Finally, Sandy. I don't get me wrong, I love Sandy. He's by far my favorite brawler, but Supercell obviously can't figure out what they want to do with him. Just in the last few months, they nerfed his main attack damage to, I want to say, from 1260 to 1188. That sounds right. And they nerfed his root stance star power down from 120 to 100. But then, not even like a few weeks later, they buffed his main attack damage to 1280, more than what his attack was to begin with. Which I won't complain because once again I love playing him, but what's the plan here? You nerf him, but then you buff him to where he was even better to begin with? So why did you nerf him to begin with if I don't even know. Also give Sandy a skin. Yeah, I this is by no means a comprehensive list. Every brawler has their problems, and I'd be here all day if I talked about them. These are just the ones I had the most to say about that. Anyways, bye.